Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader when the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss you. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast. Mark DeJesus in the house, bringing you insights along the way. I'm all about mental, emotional, and relationship health. So if you are too, you have arrived at a great place. And today, what I want to get into is a subject that would not necessarily be a popular trending subject, but it is something that can greatly help your journey as you become more aware of how this factor influences your life in a negative and disempowering way. And it has to do with the subject of avoidance. I want to talk about 12 ways that we actually avoid. We practice avoidance. One of my biggest challenges in helping people in the area of mental health is helping to identify areas that have become areas of avoidance in our life. And see, we all have a tendency where the fear factor infiltrates ways that we think, ways that we believe, things that we step into, things that we step away from. And avoidance can become a survival factor. It's a way that we protect ourselves. It can be a trauma protection, but it can be just a simple life protective mechanism from just some of the disappointments or things we don't want to see happen in our life and in our journey. I'm all about helping people to develop a new relationship with how they respond to fear and how they deal with the fears in their lives that spring out into areas of anxiety, worry. But avoidance is a big factor when it comes to mental health. I deal with a lot of OCDers, perfectionists, people that struggle with chronic rumination and anxiousness, anxiety. And many of those areas are infiltrated with avoidance patterns. In fact, many people will avoid even watching this video or listening to this because of the anxiousness they perceive it may kick up in them. So it can cause us to avoid listening to certain teachings, from even getting help. Listen, it's understandable. We all have those areas of our life, but eventually we have to understand when that fear factor, when that avoidance issue is now getting in the way of our journey. Because again, it's a coping survival mechanism, but over time it can imprison us.
Coping mechanisms are holding patterns. I'm just going to put it out there. Coping mechanisms are holding patterns. You desire to have this, but your coping mechanism is this. And this is how I maintain my normal. My normal is my known, even if my known is dysfunctional. Do you see? Do you see? One of the greatest mirrors we've ever had is relationships. Our formative relationships are with our gods. Our gods are our parents. If our parents mishandle our spirit, that becomes our norm. Inconsistent emotional attunement. right? In and out. Violence, disrespect, marginalization of our feelings, not being seen and heard, not being loved on consistently. That becomes our norm. We go out into the world and we say, we're going to conquer the world. We're going to get as many things as we can get. And by having the things, we'll have control over the people. And we'll have our pick of the litter. And they'll make us happy. And then we find out that having everything doesn't make you happy. And it doesn't give you power over another. Do you see? Let's go even deeper. Tonight's topic, spiritual avoidance. Your first God was your mama, the primary caregiver. If she created a disconnect, could you become spiritually avoidant? She is the lifeline to your spirituality. The quality of her spirit is what nurtured you, or the lack thereof. It's heavy stuff, right? When you come out as an avoidant type, or an anxious type, or a fearful avoidant type, which is the combination of both, there's this hyper focus, especially the avoidant type. There's a hyper focus on independence, which can become a bridge to success or a barrier to growth. Hyper focus on independence, encouraged by spiritual avoidant perspectives, often stem from fear, vulnerability, and rejection. While independence is a valuable trait, overemphasis can isolate individuals emotionally and spiritually, preventing them from experiencing the interdependence needed for true growth. This hyper independence often mirrors avoidant attachment patterns, where self-reliance becomes a defense mechanism, a coping strategy against perceived abandonment or disappointment, both in human relationships and with the divine. If I don't believe, I ain't got to worry about it. If I see all people as people and they gonna hurt you anyway, I don't have to connect deeply. Spiritual avoidant. Did you see the video clip explained it? We're all living in this type of avoidant space. This is why you hear things like, I could do bad all by myself. That's because you've learned to live with half of yourself. You don't live with your whole integrated self. Right? It's easy to live with your mask than it is to live with your shadow. And when they're both in the same room, Lord. All right, let me get my brother back in here. Please give me your final thoughts. Nazarene X, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Real quick, also, you remember Krishnamurti's bar about being a secondhand human?
A secondhand human, yes.
Yeah, speak to that real quick if you wouldn't mind, just letting that echo in the airs.
I think Brother Murti was really just saying, if you parrot, right, the model that you got from your parents, parrot meaning just constantly repeating it over and over and over like a parrot, you're not an actual human being. You're just a second-hand human being because those are not your thoughts, right?
Yeah, squawking about survival and all that, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so real quick, I say one thing that might help, and just drawing from something that I feel like helped me too, is again, we got to reinforce those principles without being dismissive of their truth. Like, if someone is keeping you from something, apply critical thought now that you are an intelligent adult, able to perceive variation. And I think that once you can so-called analyze those specifics and you still maintain even your individuality, apply that. Like, again, like an African proverb says, like, you can't turn the wind, so turn the sail. Study nature, do what you can in spite of X, Y, Z. And I feel like in that sense, you'll be a part of the solution versus feeling abandoned by, in turn, actually abandoning yourself. But, you know, we never want anybody to drop flat bottom. But anyway, yeah, VOR family, thank you, man. To keep cooking. I'm going to tap in for real.
I love it, brother. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it. You've been listening to the Voice of Reason live on KBLA Talk 1580. We're on complete fire. We got callers all over the place. They want to talk. Attila, Houston, Texas. Get in here. What are your thoughts? Attila.
I'm here, my bad.
Okay, here we go. What are your thoughts?
Don't start yelling. Okay, so my thoughts real quick. I feel like apathy is easier because that way we can escape accountability. And I feel like we a lot of times scapegoat God. I don't say God, I say the Most High, but I feel like we scapegoat God because it's just easier to do that rather than talk about our own interpersonal and intrapersonal failures as well. And so when you're talking about like defining something, the whole I am, to me, that's like another way to conquer something, right? Like, because you can kind of stake your claim. And I feel like we prefer control over relationships, like as a species. So, like, that's part of the reason why we need images, you know, like Murdy talk about, like, images for us make sense because it's another way, again, to conquer a thing. If I have a form or some type of way to describe something, then I can say that it makes sense, and in another way, that's basically me feeling good about myself because I know something. So to me, a lot of this is kind of ego-based. Like, if I can say I know it, then I feel secure. But the insecurity comes from the unknown. So we try to avoid that, and I think one of the ways we do that is by remaining apathetic.
Apathy is easier than growth. It's easier than the expansion of our perspective. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'll kind of put it to you like this, because again, we like illustrations, right? So think about something small, like starting a diet or like committing to a certain exercise routine. The reason why a lot of times we fail in those areas is because, again, like you said, you're asking yourself, your inner self, to expand. So, like, what if you really could do it? What if you really could lose the weight or eat better or become healthier? Well, now that means I'm accountable and I got to keep it up. And if you're someone who deals with perfectionist tendencies, especially if you're someone who's more anxious, that is scary, right? That's terrifying. And so, again, I think in our mind, our egos are like, it's better to say I know than it is to say I have no idea, or better yet, I need help. And so, yeah, I think that's what we do to the Most High. And we treat the Most High like we treat our family, like we treat our partners, like we treat our friends. We really don't ask for what it is that we really need out of fear of embarrassing ourselves. But then the other side of that, though, too, is that we also don't admit when we have vulnerabilities until after we've already succeeded in something. So we say, man, you know, I was really tripping, but I got it done.
But I got it done.
But I got it done. And I feel like we treat the Most High the same way. It's weird. It's almost like a, you know, hey, God, look at me type of thing. I don't need you. I'm good. But yes, you do. But you did.
And then when we get what we want, it's won't he do it? And then when we are being attacked, we say the devil is busy. We scapegoat them both.
Yeah, he can't win for. We put the Most High in a catch-22, and what's interesting is we'll put him in a catch-22, but still ask for him to come through for us.
I don't know if you can put God in a catch-22.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can either. But
I think we put ourselves in a catch-22, a conundrum.
Yeah, for sure. And then ask for help. So you've tied your own hands, and now you want someone to untie them. But I think, yes.
I was going to say, do you think God maybe? And I can't say that. That's not good. That's not a good question. Go ahead. I was going to say, no. I mean, the language isn't right. Because I can't ask you to think for God. But in a way, like, I don't want to. What came to mind was Could God be disappointed because we're not using the divine he planted in us? Like, could there be a disappointment? We want him to show up from the outside in as opposed to showing up from the inside out, I think. Come save my life. Come fix my life. Come heal my life. Come, when I think all of these things are inside jobs as well. What are your thoughts?
I agree, but then my question, like, to me, disappointment begets, like, surprise. Like, can God be surprised?
I told
like,
you the language was bad. I told you.
Like, everything that we do or think about doing, it's already been factored in, right? So with something, because, again, omnipotence, omnipresence, omniscience, I forgot the other ones. Essentially,
omni everything.
Omni everything. And it's funny because I feel like when you start digging into your journey and really walking with the Most High, it's almost like he gives you a little piece of him a little bit. So you start getting the claircognizant, clairvoyant, right? Like, so that I always find that interesting. It's like the closer you walk with the Most High, the closer he walks to you. And I feel like we tend to come out of religion and run into spirituality, and we're open. And instead of us having maybe a critical eye for certain things that are being touted as this is the answer, we kind of like get into that same childlike stance again, where it's like, well, this must be true. This must be like the end all be all, because we're really doing the same thing. We're just calling it by a different name.
I love it.
It's still control. So yeah.
Attila, guess what you just did?
How about Houston in the building?
Houston, Texas is in the building. You know the routine. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We're having a robust discussion tonight. I would love for you to participate. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Bad Ash Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay. Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacin-capted Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So toxic positivity is when we ignore our negativity or we transform all of our negativity into positivity. Everything is a learning experience. Like, I think everything can be a learning experience, but it's okay for some things to just suck. And it's like, I just wish this didn't happen. At the same time, this is what we want to do is be able to see the positive in things. So even if I wasted my whole day, I can guarantee you that there were some moments. I mean, I guess technically this could be wrong, but I would say 99% of patients I've worked with, this has been what I'm about to say is true. There's something good that happened today. You won a game where you were losing. You went ahead and cleaned the dishes. You need to cultivate some degree of positivity in your life because some of it is there. So there's a cognitive bias in depression.
Wow. Heavy stuff. Tonight's topic is, I'm just going to say it's not for the faint of heart. I'm here to expand your perspective on relationships. They're not just social game rules based on gender roles, based on this and that. There is a spiritual component. If you're disconnected from God, chances are you'll be disconnected from spouse. Right? Well, I skipped to spouse. If you're disconnected from God, you're disconnected from self. If you're disconnected from self, you'll be disconnected from spouse and others. A lot of people don't understand that. Relationships are the mirror of spirituality. This is how we react, right? This is how we see ourselves. This is how we respond to the world, our reality, and our environment. Relationship is the mirror of fear. Relationship is the mirror of growth. Relationship is the mirror of forgiveness. Relationship is the mirror of empathy. Relationship is the mirror of forgiveness. Krishnamurti. We are second-hand people. We have lived on what we have been told, either guided by our inclinations, our tendencies, or compelled to accept by circumstances and environment. We are the result of all kinds of influences. And there is nothing new in us, nothing that we have discovered for ourselves, nothing original, pristine, clear. That is the suchness. He didn't say God, but that's what he means. You haven't discovered it in you. Do you understand? This is why the onus is so heavy on our partner. Our partner must save us from our spiritual immaturity, our spiritual mediocrity, mundanity. Healing the spiritual avoidant mindset requires integrating shadow work. secure attachment practices, and a reevaluation of one's relationship with the divine. Babette Rothschild emphasizes the need for emotional attunement to foster resilience and connection. By acknowledging and addressing our shadow selves, individuals might be able to move from a perception of divine detachment to one of unconditional love and support. The works of Rumi and Khalil Gibran provide poetic inspiration for this transformation. Again, Rumi writes, "The wound is the place where the light enters you. Embracing one's vulnerability rather than avoiding them becomes a gateway to deeper spiritual understanding and connection." Similarly, Khalil Gibran, reflections on love emphasize the necessity for surrender when it feels like loss or detachment. The universe as a reflective partner, right? All of the higher love, relationship is the mirror of love. That's where you see it. That's where you experience it. Ultimately, the perception of God's indifference may not signify divine detachment, but rather a profound opportunity for self-awareness. As Thomas Campbell notes in My Big Toe, consciousness itself is a co-creative process. By addressing their own avoidances and cultivating gratitude, individuals can transform their spiritual narrative, shifting from isolation to abundance. The spiritually avoidant are not abandoned. They are called to be healed. As one moves beyond fear and self-reliance, the divine reveals itself not as indifferent, but as the ultimate source of love, connection, and infinite inclusivity. In this journey, vulnerability is the bridge that transforms silence into presence and avoidance into divine attunement. When I come forward, we're taking all of the callers.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A Supreme Court ruling will make it more difficult for people to sue the police. It stems from a case that was filed in North Texas. A group of George Floyd protesters have been trying to sue the city of Dallas for the way they handled the rallies back in 2020. The Marine veteran charged in the deadly New York City subway chokehold has been found not guilty. Daniel Penny was charged with manslaughter and negligent homicide. A West Suburban Oak Park detective will be laid to rest this week after he was killed in the line of duty. Alan Reddins was shot and killed the day after Thanksgiving. The biggest movies of the year are nominated for the Golden Globe for cinematic and box office achievement. Summer blockbusters Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2, and Twisters are all nominated. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
On behalf of her precious family, it is with profound sadness that KBLA Talk 1580 announces the passing of our beloved colleague, Robin Ayers, on Thursday, December 5th. Robin was a bright light. You could see her radiant smile through the radio. We all respected her immense talent, loved her jovial spirit, celebrated her love of family, and honored her faith in God. Our thoughts and prayers are with Robin's entire family, most especially her husband Rob and her twin daughters Brooklyn and Madison. We ask you to join us in praying for the Ayers family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. In her honor, all this week, we're broadcasting the best of the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
often when things get tough and we look for support, our supporters rush in to fix things. But sometimes what we need most isn't a solution. It's just someone who truly gets us. How do you get someone? You hold space for them. That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. The concept of holding space has gained popularity recently, and it sounds like cool therapy speak, but what does it even mean? Well, actually, it's a pretty deep concept. Let's break this down. Here's what holding space is not: fixing things. It's not about offering solutions or trying to cheer the person up or even minimize their feelings. There's no judgment. It's not analyzing the situation, giving advice, or saying things like, "You don't need to feel that way." And it's not distraction. It's not trying to divert someone's focus or ignore difficult emotions or pushing someone to move on before they're ready. Here's what holding space is, whether it's for you or for someone else. First, being an active presence. It means being fully present for yourself and setting aside other distractions and simply sitting with your emotions, even those that feel uncomfortable. Validation. It's about acknowledging the legitimacy of your feelings or the person you're supporting without trying to change those feelings. And this might involve internal phrases like,
"This makes sense given what I'm going through,"
or
"It's okay to feel sad right now."
Next is curiosity and acceptance. Instead of fighting against your emotions, explore them with curiosity. What does the sadness feel like in my body? What thoughts accompany this anger? Notice without judgment. And then embrace the impermanence. Remind yourself that emotions are fluid.
I love Dr. Tracy, man. What if God is operating like that? Because that sounds like a hands-off kind of dealing with someone, being present for someone, but not judging and not condemning. It's kind of hands-off. What if God is the master of that support, that mysterious kind of support? I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you how to feel. Feel how you need to feel. Heavy stuff. We got callers on the line. Let me get all of them. Hustle, Miami, Florida. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? What are your thoughts, man? You know I got to know.
Yeah, be on hold. I was about to order some late night tacos, man.
It sound like you over there at the taco spot, man.
Yeah. So, all right. So for this topic, man, I know last week you were making fun of me about manifesting a woman into my life on the airways or whatnot.
I wasn't.
But,
come on, man. Go ahead, man.
But you know, but the truth behind that is I did make a declaration to myself and to God that I would no longer deal with any women that were below the quality that it is that I want in my life. And I will say this, after doing that, things changed.
Really?
Oh yeah, you will be tested though.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing about the test is when you pass, it's as if you get a scholarship in life. You know, with a scholarship, that doesn't mean you don't have to still go to class.
Mm-hmm.
It just means a heavy burden. Mm-hmm. The weight of having to pay the extra is taken off. And you get to truly focus on what it is that you're there to study.
Love it.
You get what I'm saying?
Love it.
But I do want. Can I manifest something real quick though?
Go ahead. Call her out.
No. Man, can we ever get Uncle Bobby on the show, man?
Yeah.
Because Uncle Bobby, that's Uncle for real to me.
Uncle Bobby. Let me just say this really
brother.
quickly. Uncle Bobby is in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. When he comes here, I'll grab him.
Okay.
I'll grab him.
That's
100%.
Yeah, man.
Hey, but hustle.
Uncle is
We got so many callers, brother. I gotta push, but I just want to say thank you.
Oh yeah, I see the line.
Yeah, and it's lit.
Man.
Hey, thank you, brother. We appreciate the call. Thank you. Let's keep it pushing. Martin from Atlanta by way of Detroit. What are your thoughts, sir, on tonight's topic?
Brother Zoe, it's an honor, man. I'm grateful for your writings, for your words. Thank you so much, man. I'm so grateful to have someone like you on the planet, brother.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Wait till you hear my brother Kurt from Pasadena. He really gonna cook. I already know. But I want to know what your thoughts are, brother. Come on.
Well, I want to jump on that as Cornel West would say, that spiritual mediocrity
Yeah, go
in
ahead.
your soul. There's a great documentary on Showtime, Kobe's Muses.
Mm-hmm. I've seen
And
it.
every time I watch that documentary, I get tears in my eyes, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was his 5th championship where he does the Ric Flair, where he's yelling, he's, ooh, you know, all of that, and he's just super hype. And I was thinking about my life. I have been thinking about my life for years, and I was like, I want something that causes me to have that kind of reaction when I accomplish it. And I think we're underselling ourselves. We don't give ourselves a big enough goal, a big enough purpose, a big enough mountain to climb that would pull forth the different powers and potentials that we have. So we don't find them, but because we don't need them to just get up and go to work every day, or we don't need them to take the garbage out. We don't need them. We have to be reaching for greater things and trying to do greater works to have that kind of calling or that kind of reaction.
Right.
So what I heard you say, if I got it correct, you were talking about desire and how people say, well, God's not showing up. And I can remember telling someone one day who, I won't get into specifics, but they, you know how you can tell someone feels they have the upper hand on you. And I said, you know, God will not let me stay this way. He will not lead me this way. And what I meant by that was that understanding, that's all that has to happen. As long as I stay on my path, understanding will come, and then I will be able to move beyond the predicament I may be in at this moment.
Right.
And I think that's the problem. We don't have patience.
Right.
We don't have patience to wait for the revelation to come and for the understanding to come. Because once we get the revelation and understanding, then we move fast. We move with certainty. We move. We accomplish. We do.
Right.
But like you said, we're anxious. We're in a holding pattern. I think you said coping mechanisms are like being in holding patterns.
Right.
And so I've been a teacher for over 30 years, man. I teach high school. And education is the repetition of learning.
Come on, brother.
And so we keep getting pain, and we'll keep getting pain until we learn the lessons for whatever it is that we keep getting the pain from. We just keep repeating it because maybe we don't believe it once we get through it. Whatever it is, we just have to keep learning until it becomes just like drinking water and walking and chewing bubble gum.
Man, I love it.
So
I love it, brother.
I appreciate you, man. I would be amiss, man. I know you got a lot of calls. I would be amiss, though, if I didn't give a shout-out to my best friend, man.
Go ahead.
Stuart Woods. He's the brother that he's been with you, man, since I'm talking 10, 15 years ago. Since one of them day ones, bro.
Hey.
And he's been at me about you for the longest time, man. But I'm just slow, brother. But as soon as I get on, the fire comes on.
Come on.
I'm with you. I'm riding with you.
I
We
appreciate
riding
you,
with
brother.
you.
And you got a seat at the table anytime you want to call in, man. You brought in Atlanta, Georgia. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580 when we come forward. Cali Soul and Kurt from Pasadena. We got more.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
There she is, that's the universe itself. We dwell here. This is our world. These are the hells. These are the heavens. And in the heavens are the gods. And so all is within the mother. Translated into philosophy, she is time, space, causality. Schopenhauer was the first Western philosopher to recognize this. Kant's Critique of Pure Reason, where he sets up the forms of sensibility, time and space, and the...
I'm sorry, I want to play more. Joseph Campbell was just getting ready to cook, but the phone lines are totally jammed. So I'm going to the phone lines for the last 10 minutes. This is all I'm asking. Brevity. Keep it concise. Get to your point, because we got a lot of callers, and I want to get everybody on. So let's do it right now. Cali, Seoul, Denver, Colorado. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hi, Zo.
Hey.
I'm probably overthinking this, and maybe you can help me, but you're speaking of God as a detached parent, correct?
Yeah. An inconsistent parent, based on the model of attachment theory by John Bowlby. He says, where there's an inconsistent parent, one that lacks emotional attunement, one who is not emotionally in tune with the child may develop something like dismissive, avoidant attachment style, right? So basically, many of us have lived with God saying God is the answer and won't he do it and this, that, and the third. But when God doesn't give us what we want, oftentimes we quietly, maybe even under our breath, or maybe even at the top of the hill, yell out, God, you left me, you forsake me. I mean, even Jesus did it when he said, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, my God, why have thou forsaken me? So this inconsistent parent figure, this divine parent figure, not always being there when we need him to be there, but also in a mysterious, strange way on time. Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't see God as inconsistent or detached.
Give it to us.
God as the architect.
Give it to us. Go ahead.
So, in a sense, it's like we always have the power of choice to follow, God. But in those moments when we feel like God has not answered, it's often that we've asked the question and we also have tried to give ourselves the answer, so therefore we can't hear God.
But see, that's what I said. You came in a little late. You missed that part when I said typically when somebody has that dismissive, avoidant attachment style, they are fiercely and hyper protective of their independence, which would correlate to the Bible verse of lean not on your own understanding. But many times when we feel like God has abandoned us, that's exactly what we do, correct?
Okay, yes, that is. And yes, I did come in.
Yeah, you know, I'm right with you, Callie. You my girl. I'm rolling with you. Come on.
Thank you. I just needed a little clarity. Thank you, sir.
Hey, we love you, Callie. You brought Denver, Colorado in the building. Let's keep it going. John from Mountain View, get in here. It's your time to shine. We got to make it quick. We got callers on the line. Let's go, Pastor John.
All right, real quick. This is a great show. And before I dance out of my pants one more time, I'll quote two people. One we already know as the resident bishop. The other one we know, dearly departed. Dr. Alan Berger, only the best of you can see the worst of you.
Only the best of you can see the worst of you. Fire stuff, Dr. Alan Berger. Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is because in the same reflection as both of you, you may judge yourself by the way of what things have occurred, but the thing is, it's both you. And if you don't see the worst of you, which again, for those of you who are better than yourself, how? Second of all, again, when you discover how your quote unquote dismissive parent, which is the God, the reflection that shows you you, in the midst of your judging your good and bad, gives you the point of discovery to find out who you really are in him. That's the head nod he gives you and the proud parent that he's always been of you when you finally discover who you are. I'm done.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. You brought Mountain View, Hawaii in the building. Let's keep it going. Kurt from Pasadena, it's your time to shine. Holla at me.
Hey, okay, I want to explain to you how God works.
Talk to us.
When you guys say that God has given everything, the way that God works is he gives information in a form of a wave, in a wave of probabilities. All information is within the stream of the wave. And then it's up to the consciousness of the individuals to break that wave down into discernible parts. So we are the ones that's taking all this infinite information and breaking it down to only the limited things that we can think of. So if you can think of more, you can pull out more from the wave. That's all I have to say.
Ooh, wait. If you can think of more, you can pull out more from this infinite probability wave.
That's exactly it. That's all it is.
Brother, Kurt.
That's what quantum physics is. That's quantum physics is that.
I know.
It's mentalism. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's the measurement problem you just described.
You want to expand yourself first.
But wouldn't the limited the observer has to have a broadened perspective, but if the observer comes from
limitation.
There we go. See, because you saying
look at Michael Jackson and Prince.
Wow, that's a great example because they had no limitation on their creative process.
Look at Krishnamurti.
No limitation on his creative process. Yes,
exactly.
I love it, Kurt.
Information is out there. Okay.
Pasadena in the building. We appreciate the call. Lulu from Charlotte, North Carolina. We all over the country tonight. Talk to me. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, so thank you for this topic. And I really love that you're putting the emphasis on avoidance because I think something that can lead us to expecting disappointment, not just from God, but from other people, is being avoidant because that can create that confirmation bias of causing us to expect disappointment.
Self-fulfilling prophecies, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And simultaneously pushing people away. So I really love when you bring this topic up because it's one that I've dealt with and didn't even know until the last 2 years. I think talking about it more is going to really get people to be more self-aware because it really creates this cycle, right? We are avoidant because we've been hurt, and in our avoidance, we start to hurt others. So I really appreciate you bringing this up and encouraging us to look deeper and sit with our emotions on it.
Man, I appreciate you for calling, and I thank you so much for bringing North Carolina in the building. You already know you can call in anytime you're ready.
Thanks, so.
All right, there it is. Listen, where there is avoidance, there is detachment. Not non-attachment. Non-attachment is different than detachment. Non-attachment is still being present while not attached to a person, place, or thing or outcome, right? Non-attachment is the higher conscious space you want to be in. You are present, but you are not attached to a particular person, place, or thing or outcome. Attachment styles as the divine parent archetype. The portrayal of God as a parental figure reveals much about the dynamics of attachment. When individuals interpret God's silence as indifference, it often mirrors their inner experience with emotional unavailable caregivers. Dismissive avoidant attachment styles reinforce this perception as individuals project their fears of rejection onto their relationship with the divine and with their human counterparts. Do you see how we struggle? The end of the day, we want to start the conversation here. We want you to finish it. I always say, I start it, you finish it, right? It's important for us to have these types of dialogues. I'm excited to have them every single night. But don't be afraid to call in and share your thoughts. Nobody here is trying to be right. Nobody here is trying to proselytize a particular belief. We're just here to ask the question. And based on your experience and based on your understanding, we want you to share. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. It's been an amazing topic, an amazing show. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be back here tomorrow with another slapper. And did you love my playlist tonight? If you want to know who that was, that brother's name is Joachim, Freddie Joachim. Check out his playlist. He's an amazing Freddie Joachim, or Joachim if you want it. All right.